In this commute, we're gonna go ahead and be talking about the Lyric Graffiti, which is an e-bike that's anticipated by a lot of people. A lot of people should be getting it, they say, by Christmas, but who knows, they might have delayed it or whatever. I don't know, but the reason why we're gonna be talking about it is because unfortunately I was actually looking for it and I found a lot of red flags, and I'm gonna go and talk about some of those red flags. The first one being that, for example, they were actually giving out tester bikes, and it's a prototype bike that only has the single 52 volt battery and stuff like that on it. But being so close to that, they're actually planning on, you know, releasing this thing pretty much, and it's gonna be shipped out and everything. They should have had a production model already, and that's the thing. I went on their website just a day ago and they still had the same picture of the actual prototype model without showing the actual production one, like what display it's gonna be using or whatever. It only shows the one with the egg rider display and the single battery on their actual website itself and stuff like that. And they're taking a lot of pre-orders for this thing, so I'm kind of surprised that they haven't even updated their website to actually show the production model yet, which I would expect this late in the game that they have a production version already out. The other red flag is pretty much that they're giving reviewers the same bike. They're not letting them keep it. What they're doing is they're taking one bike, dropping it off, and essentially letting them review it, which to me is a big red flag because, like I said, this thing's supposed to be shipping and you should have production models available already, and they haven't given anyone production models yet, at least that I have seen from the review videos and stuff like that. So that right off the bat there kind of screams like it might almost be a scam. I'm not saying it's a scam yet or not, but it could be potentially a pre-order scam, because why would you just have a prototype version of it and then pass the same prototype to multiple YouTubers and stuff like that, and not let them at least keep that prototype or whatever for a few days and stuff like that, so they can put it to their paces and stuff. So to me that brings up a lot more questions than, you know, answers pretty much, and I'm not gonna pre-order for that very reason alone. Not only that too, also the fact too that this bike does not have no rear suspension pretty much, and that to me alone by itself is, you know, a deal breaker for me, because, you know, I like full suspension bikes, you know what I mean, especially with that style bike where it sits low to the ground and everything else and stuff like that. You want to have that full suspension. You don't got a saddle where you can put a suspension post and stuff on it, you know what I mean. So it would have been nice to do a rear suspension, but you know, that's not something that against them. They showed the bike that way, so that's the way they made the bike, and you know, I'll probably have to wait till next version if this does materialize, and hopefully they'll make one with rear suspension, then maybe I'll consider buying one. But that's the other thing too, and that's the thing that kept me from actually pre-ordering, is the fact that there's no rear suspension on it, and to me that's a no. Now we're gonna go over some of the other red flags, and these are some big ones. One of them being is they claim 2500 watts nominal. Nominal means continuous. There's no way that bike does 2500 watts nominal on a single 18650 battery pack that they're showing, which, if I read the specs correctly, because they got the amp hour rating, they put 1850 or something as the amp hour, the watt hours. So if I do my math, that should be 30 amp hours. Now there's no way that little Shark battery pack does 30 amp hours, so my assumption is that they went ahead and added, like, this is what it would be if you got two of them pretty much, that you'll get the 1850 watt hours out of it if you buy two battery packs, which would be about probably right, but that would be making only 15 amp hour per pack and stuff like that. And to me that case looks like it's an 18650 casing. Doesn't look like a 21700 Jumbo Shark, that, because I built custom battery packs, so I know what a Jumbo Shark looks like, and there's no way you can tell me that will fit 20 amp hours, let alone, you know, 18650, and then your own specs kind of suggest differently anyway on the website. So it's likely 15 amp hours each pack and stuff like that, 52 volts. And if you do the math, you can only put about a 30 amp BMS on, and you don't want to push that 30 amp BMS at 30 amps because you're just gonna have problems with cutoff and stuff like that. You always want to have a little leeway so that way your BMS is not kicking in and out and stuff like that. So I'm kind of wondering what BMS and stuff they're actually using for it. The max you're gonna fit in that pack is about 35 amps at best, and if I do the math, that's only to give you 1700 watts continuous power pretty much, and that's if you're pushing the BMS at its full capacity, which you're not. So you'll probably get more likely 1500 watt continuous and stuff like that. So their specs are way off, and you know something, the video actually kind of backs up what I'm saying right now, because every single reviewer that's been on that bike struggles to get up to 38 miles per hour, and that's the max that anyone's been able to get that bike at with a GPS, and that's the you know, accurate speedo and stuff like that. It's having the GPS on there to verify that the speed's actually correct and that the speedometer is not running faster than what it actually should be, because the speedometer on most of these e-bikes are actually set by the actual wheel size and stuff like that. And sometimes what these companies will do to trick consumers is they'll go and put the real size way bigger than what it actually is, so it makes it seem like the bike's going really fast and stuff like that. So if I look at the reviewers and stuff, it kind of suggests is actually what I'm saying, that motor is probably only doing about 1500 watts continuous and not the 25 as they claim, which is 1000 watts shorter than what they actually claim. You know, now if you want to be technical about it, it's actually little over 1700 watts continuous if you push that BMX to its max capacity. So that's another thing that's gonna steer me away from it because of that alone. Now, yeah, if you get the dual batteries and you get a good equalizer, assuming they'll put an equalizer on it, you can get about 50 amps continuous output out of it, and then therefore you'll be able to easily hit that 2500 watts nominal as they're claiming though. But they're claiming this even on the single batteries, and of course the test units they gave people was with the single batteries. So you know what I mean, that's kind of, you know, if it is just for the dual battery that you're gonna get the 2500 watts nominal, well, they need to actually list that, because it's false advertising then, because people, you know, are gonna buy this with single battery, let's say, and then they're gonna wonder why they're not getting the full 2500 watts out of it. And even if you did happen to come up with BMS that can pull, you know, 2500 watts continuous out, those cells are not gonna last long pulling that, plain and simple. You know what I mean? You really then do need to have, you know what I mean, a bigger battery pack or two, you know, and preferably something that high power. You want a 1-2 battery pack, because the most I'll run on a single battery pack like that, unless I'm doing like a 60 or 72 volt, is gonna be 2000 watts. You know what I mean? I wouldn't push it past 2000 watts even with 21700s and stuff like that, because it's just gonna deteriorate the battery very fast. At that point I'll go like 60 or 72 volts, and normally I'll just go 72 volts. Now if the motor was able to actually push 2500 watts, you should be able to easily get 45 miles per hour out of that thing, and I'm not seeing that on any of the reviews that they're pushing. So I believe what I'm saying is right. Hopefully I'm wrong, and maybe they pulled some magic that I don't know about, but I doubt it. I think they're false advertising that a little bit, you know, to compete against the Super 73. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not no Lear or Graffiti hater or anything like that. I actually wanted this bike to succeed because I hate the Super 73. And you know something, I was actually kind of hopeful on this bike that, hey, look, it might actually put out its power. You know what I mean? And this would be definitely a good alternative to the Super 73 if it was, and potentially could dethrone it like it's... Oh, great. I got the fault error code on this thing like always. So let me go ahead and... Go ahead here. You gotta pedal up because I'm going up the incline here just to get it at a good speed. But overall, that's one of the things that you know, that I saw that I was kind of very skeptical about was the fact that their watts don't match what the nominal watt they're putting in. I don't even think it could peak at 2500 watts, to be honest. We'll probably be able to peak it, but you know what I mean? It's definitely not gonna do that nominal, that's for sure. And that to me is kind of a deal breaker right there alone by itself. So the other thing too is the fact that they only went with like a smaller battery case instead of using the 21700 jumbo shark case, which is, why would you do that? You know what I mean? To me, a bike that actually goes, you know, that fast, you should be doing at least 220 amp hour batteries or whatever on it, and that would make it definitely a way better buy as far as my opinion goes. But as I said, I would hold off on the RX Lure until they actually at least see a production version of what it's actually going to be, because we don't even know what the production version is going to be yet. That's the problem. So let me go and get into this lane here. But hopefully we'll see soon what it's actually going to be. It might be able to, you know, be better than the Super 73 and stuff like that. But like I said, if it's what I think it is, then it's probably not going to be. And that's why I said I would hold off and wait to see if this bike even materializes and stuff like that before you actually make the purchase, because I'm not even sure it's going to materialize at this point. It's just, you know, they haven't come out with the production version of it, not even on their website or anything like that, to show what the production, right, what display everything's gonna be using, and the actual batteries that they're probably gonna go with and stuff like that. So I don't even know what, you know, what version they're actually gonna use and stuff like that. That's the problem, you know. So with that said, you know, I would definitely wait at least until next version comes out. And then maybe the next version would actually be a lot better. Hopefully full suspension and stuff, if they do materialize and stuff. Now, if you do decide to pre-order one, definitely go with the dual battery pack, because dual battery is the only way you get the true 2500 watts out of that bike whatsoever and stuff like that. And like I said, it's not just me saying it. The review videos kind of actually show it too, because one guy, the actual battery pack actually died under 15-mile range and stuff like that. So it suggests that it's actually a 15 amp hour battery. And then number two, the top speed that these reviewers are putting out, struggling to get up to 38, and a true 2500 watt motor, you'll be able to do much better than that. So I just don't see that pretty much. So I don't know what the actual real specs are going to be until obviously the bike materializes and stuff like that, and then we'll hopefully be able to find out exactly what it's going to be. But at the way it is right now, definitely hold off. I wouldn't bother with it until at least they, you know, till at least they actually come out with a production version. Then I can definitely judge what it's gonna be. But if you did get one, make sure you got the dual battery, of course, because then at least more likely then you'll be able to get the full 2500 watt power out of that bike as they claim. And I'm coming towards my end of the commute, so hopefully we'll see soon, and hopefully they do actually come out the bikes and don't delay them or do a pre-order scam and stuff, and the bikes actually do arrive, because I would like to see. Okay, so we'll hopefully find out soon enough. You know, once we find out, we'll be able to see what it is. But this concludes the video for now.